organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up tonight on Daily Iowan TV,
the triumphs and the controversies. We take a look back at Sally Mason's turbulent career.
And winter is back. Frank Rotella has your forecast.
And on the sports side,
women's basketball and wrestling stay perfect at home.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Cole Johnson.
And I'm Katie Sextro.
If you thought you were escaping January weather, you were probably hit with a dose of reality today.
We go now to weatherman Frank Rotella.
I'm out here on the University of Iowa campus. Now, yesterday felt a lot like spring, but today, as you can see, winter has returned with a vengeance. If you're wondering if we're looking forward to more days like yesterday or more days like today, stay tuned for my extended forecast.
Thanks, Frank. Well, we may finally be seeing winter all around, but Coralville residents now have a reason to dream of warmer days. RAGBRAI, Iowa's annual summer bike ride across the state, will be pedaling into town for its final stop before reaching the Mississippi River. Coralville's River Landing will be the gathering ground for bike enthusiasts from Iowa and beyond. Riders will start the day 28 miles north in Hiawatha. The journey leads from Sioux City to Davenport. That's 462 miles total.
Bookworm or bike worm? Iowa City's bike library enters 2015 with a new look. Daily Iowan TV's Katie Stites was there to check it out on opening day.
It's not much to look at on the outside yet, but inside there's a lot to offer. This is the new space for Iowa City's bike library, where locals can come to check out a bike of their own. And it's a major improvement over the old location that sat on the corner of Gilbert and College Street.
It was so tiny in there, when you get a lot of people and you get really hot, you'd be real sweaty.
The library's main focus is a bike rental program. Goddess and a few others stopped in this Saturday to check out their own bikes. The library has a limited number available with a deposit of about $100 each. They also take donations, recycle bikes, and have a lot of space and tools for riders to take advantage of.
All bikes need constant maintenance, and this is better than a cold garage or a dark basement. And there are a lot of experienced mechanics here, so I don't need to know everything. People are willing to help me out while I'm working.
So whether it's to check out the space, the mechanics, or your own bike, local bike lovers will be headed to 840 South Capitol Street to check it out. Reporting from Iowa City, I'm Katie Stites, Daily Iowan TV.
The Iowa Freedom Summit brought more than 20 prominent conservatives to Des Moines yesterday, including Sarah Palin, Rick Perry, Chris Christie, and Donald Trump. Sold-out crowds heard criticism of everything President Obama, from his health care law to his immigration policies. While nobody at the summit officially declared a 2016 presidential bid, many alluded to it.
Daily Iowan TV's coverage of President Sally Mason's retirement continues tonight.
Tanner Segworth is here to remind us what she'll be remembered by.
Last week I asked students what they thought of Sally Mason's 8-year run here as president. What I found out? Many knew very little. Here's a look back at some of the highs and lows of Mason's career. It took 17 months and 2 different search committees to get Sally Mason elected as the university's 20th president. Mason arrived in August of 2007. Less than a year later, campus was rocked with one of the largest natural disasters in the state's history. The flood of 2008 closed 20 UI campus buildings and racked up an estimated $863 million in damages. Mason and the university were tasked with planning massive rebuilding efforts that continue today. Then that fall, Mason faced the first of what would be an ongoing UI controversy, sexual assault. The university's relaxed response to a rape case at Hillcrest Residence Hall received harsh criticism. Mason responded by firing 2 top officials, but her battle against sexual assault was far from over. In June of 2010, Mason and the UI reached a record in outside funding for academic research, raising $466 million. Also that year, the university zeroes in on undergraduate retention. That next fall, Welcome Week was replaced with the On Iowa program, specifically aimed at getting first-year students connected with campus and classmates. Under Mason's 2012 presidency, the university reached record enrollment with over 31,000 students reporting to campus in August. Then last winter, Mason faced what was most likely her toughest criticism after her comments in response to growing reports of sexual assaults on campus, saying an end to sexual assault was unrealistic given human nature. Mason later apologized, but her remarks prompted backlash and protests.
I absolutely understand that.
Competition amongst Iowa universities ignite following funding changes from the Board of Regents set to benefit schools with the most in-state students. So Mason spends her last year reshaping recruiting efforts to get more Iowa high school students. Exactly 8 years after her arrival, Sally Mason will move on from the presidency, leaving way for a new era at the University of Iowa.
Now back to Frank Rotella for a look at your extended forecast.
Thanks, Cole. Today was kind of a crummy day. Snow earlier had made everything pretty wet and slushy. No more snow overnight, though. We'll get down to about 20 tonight. Tomorrow will be a bit warmer after the morning, with temps at 16 degrees. The afternoon will have a high near 40, and we will finish the day with an evening low around 35. There's a 40% chance of snow tomorrow, so don't stow those boots and jackets quite yet. As for our extended forecast, Tuesday looks clear for the most part, with a high close to 40. Wednesday will be partly cloudy, but a bit warmer, with a high almost hitting 50, believe it or not. And then it's looking cooler for Thursday and Friday, with highs nearing 40. On Saturday, things will cool down even more, with the high just below freezing. That's how things are looking for this week. Hopefully we can avoid more snow. Back to you guys at the desk.
Dance Marathon is now less than 2 weeks away, but there's still plenty to do before the big day.
And for one event organizer, it's a family affair. UI senior Emma Beamer has followed in the footsteps of her older sisters ever since her first days as a Hawkeye. In 4 years, she's gone from participant to organizer of the biggest For the Kids events as development director. But committee roles aren't the only thing Emma and her sisters have shared over the years.
It's actually pretty neat because the family that I had last year that I became really close with, actually my sister also had. So they've known our family for a really long time, and they're just so sweet, and they're honestly like a second family to me now, and I'm really excited to see them.
Now we hear those sisters have something extra to celebrate.
That's right, this year marks 5 years cancer-free for Michaela, the 12-year-old girl they sponsor.
Meanwhile, local high schoolers are doing their part to help. Selena Carr takes us to West High's own marathon, Dance for Kids with Cancer.
FTK. It's a familiar chant at the 3rd annual West High School Mini Dance Marathon.
This environment, nothing beats it. This is by far one of my favorite days of the year.
5 hours of straight dancing, singing, and fundraising, all for the kids who fight for their lives each day, battling cancer at the UI Children's Hospital.
It's not fair to the kids who get diagnosed with cancer, so we should do everything we can to dance for life.
Hundreds of students packed the cafeteria to hear the journeys of families who have battled the painful reality of cancer.
And the doctor said amputation. Really sick and got diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia.
Craig Schrader's 15-year-old son, Austin, who goes by the nickname Flash, would be a freshman at West High if it wasn't for a cancer diagnosis last spring. The words "win the day" is what keeps his family fighting.
Win the day, it's up to each and every single one of us. What is a win? Just the fact that we have him here with us each day, still fighting, is a win for us.
Winning the day for Flash is not only motivating his family, but West High students and teachers who are dancing to make his fight even stronger.
Cancer, you can't win, because we're here living every day and we're beating you.
Mini dance marathons are taking place all around the state and will lead up to the main dance marathon held by University of Iowa students on February 7th. Reporting from West High School, Selena Carr, Daily Iowan TV.
Money raised will be contributed to the UI's Dance Marathon total. Keep it right here with Daily Iowan TV as we gear up to the big event by highlighting Dance Marathon events and families.
Well, it was a rough weekend for Iowa men's hoops, but it sounds like the women's team was a different story.
We'll toss it over to sports for a recap.
Welcome back to the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. I'm Danny Payne, standing alongside Taylor Brooks.
For the Iowa women's basketball team, Big Ten Conference play is in full swing. The team took on Michigan this past Thursday. Daily Iowan TV sports reporter Nicole Ray has the highlights.
The University of Iowa women's basketball team continued their home game winning streak Thursday night, defeating Michigan 76-70. With 5 players scoring in the double digits, head coach Lisa Bluter said this truly was a team win. The Hawkeyes came out strong against the Wolverines, with senior Bethany Doolittle scoring in just the first 10 seconds of the game. New 3-point record holder Melissa Dixon scored 2 from behind the arc and led the team with 16 total points, followed by Allie Disterhoff with 14. Freshman Whitney Jennings dominated in the first half, posting 8 points in the first 9 minutes of the game.
They were doubling on Beth early on, and I found myself wide open, and my teammates found me, and so it was nice to see the ball go through the hoop and just kind of play with that confidence the rest of the game.
With tough press from Michigan, finding open teammates continued through the night, leading to 25 assists for Iowa.
And we just got back to the Iowa basketball. We were so low in assists in Michigan State. That's not us. We are a team that distributes, we're unselfish, and we got that done again today and shot the ball extremely well.
Starting off the second half, the Hawks led by 4, then broke away to gain a 15-point lead with 10 minutes left on the clock.
I was really happy with the transition, our offense to begin the second half. I thought that was a difference maker.
After this win, the Hawkeyes are 15-3 overall and 6-1 in conference games, putting them in second place behind Maryland in the Big Ten.
Nebraska comes to town on Monday. They've been our nemesis. I mean, they've been a team that has given us fits.
With a tough matchup tomorrow night against Nebraska, the Hawks are hoping the confidence from Thursday's game will carry over for another win. This is Nicole Ray for Daily Iowan TV Sports.
On top of tomorrow's matchup against number 15 Nebraska, it is also Sam Logic bobblehead night. The game tips off at 8 p.m.
Speaking of Iowa hoops, the men's basketball team was on the road yesterday at Purdue, but came up shy of a win, losing 67-63.
This puts Iowa right in the middle of the Big Ten pack as Wisconsin leads their group 6-1, while Maryland and Indiana both are at 5-2.
But on the bright side of things, Iowa wrestling is still rolling with the punches as they were at home Friday against Northwestern.
I was sitting mat side at the match where I discovered what Iowa wrestling is all about. Take a look.
For the Iowa wrestling team, the spotlight has continued to be on them this season as they are ranked #1 in the nation. But for one Iowa wrestler, Friday night was an opportunity to beat out the #1 ranked wrestler in his weight class, fair and square. Brandon Sorensen is the type of wrestler who seizes opportunity. Being a redshirt freshman last season, he posted a 24-4 record and ended the season on a 13-match winning streak. This season is no different.
Sorensen, he's done a good job, and obviously with his opportunity. That's what you want. That's what you want from young guys.
Friday night was the ultimate test for Sorensen as he took the mat against the #1 ranked wrestler in the 149-pound weight class, Jason Citrus. Going into the second tiebreaker of the match, Sorensen came out on top, winning 3-2, but he believes it should have never been that close.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I did. I played into his game. That's not what I like to do. So if I see him again next time, I need to, can't go into overtime. Just can't.
What Sorensen did, though, was exactly what head coach Tom Brands was looking for.
That's a big win. It's that second cycle through the overtime, and he's on his feet. Instead of kicking him away, we pick him up, return him to the mat. That's how you win big matches. There's no question. Pick him up, put him down on the mat.
The #3 ranked 149-pound wrestler is on a hot streak as he's now 24-2 on the season.
I knew all along. I mean, you can beat anybody you want to. You put your mind to it.
The team hits the road this Friday against the #2 Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have here for tonight here in the sports studio, but tune into tomorrow's program where our Whip Around crew is back in action.
Cole, Katie, we're 7 days away from the Super Bowl, and much of the talk hasn't been about the big game.
That's right, Taylor. The New England Patriots have been accused of using deflated footballs in last Sunday's NFL playoffs, and Bill Nye the Science Guy has weighed in the matter after head coach Bill Belichick internal review. Belichick explained the footballs were underinflated because of atmospheric conditions and the team's process of breaking in the footballs. But Nye was not impressed, saying what Belichick said didn't make any sense. Nye ended the segment with a "Go Hawks," hopefully not letting his own bias come into play here.
That's all for tonight. Stay up with Daily Iowan TV online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a good night.